Hello, good evening. Tonight we are going to talk about the relationships that you have in your life. Now, Jim Rohn has a quote that says you are the average of the five people that you spend the most time with. And I think that's pretty true. When you ask someone to think about the people that they spend time with, they usually, especially if they're feeling negative or struggling, they will look at that and say, I think I do have some people I may need to weed out of my little circle. And obviously, that's not easy, especially if they're family members. But I think it's important to spend some time and look at that for yourself. Are you around the people that are going to help you think bigger, think differently, think positive, focus on possibilities? Or are they the people that are going to bring you down and tell you all the reasons why something won't work and that they just don't see whatever you're trying to do as possible? And I'm not saying that we want everybody to be a yes person next to you either. You want to have a diversity of opinions and ideas and ways to look at things. I do think that's super important to be able to do it in the best way, right? Let's just use a project, for example. If I had a project and the only people I had around me as the leader were people that only agreed with me and thought the exact same way I did, I don't know that it would be such a successful project then. You need people around you. And I always tried to bring people in that thought differently than I did, that could see things in a new way, because I knew I didn't know everything, especially when I first started getting into IT projects. That was not my background. I was a user of the projects, of the software and stuff, but I wasn't someone who understand how it all worked in the most technical way. So I always made sure that we had some great people around us who did understand it, who we could ask the dumb questions to. We could ask them to help us think about it differently, design it in a way that would be even better than maybe we had originally come up with. And I think when you do that, it opens up your thinking, it gives you new perspective, it helps you realize that you don't have to know everything. I like to tell new manager groups or new leader groups that the best advice I can give them is recognize that they have a team, and that team is around them to help them grow and develop, and vice versa, right? So the leader's there to help the team grow and develop, but it's also to tap into their experiences and to leverage their thinking as they move forward on a project. And there are some leaders that that's scary to them. I don't know if it's an insecurity, if they feel like if they don't have all the answers, then they maybe shouldn't be in their role. There's some of imposter syndrome happens. And it's important to recognize that no person can know everything. So let's just say that plain and clear. Nobody knows everything. And if you don't have good people around you that can help you with that, then your project may not be as great. Your team may not be as great if you only include people who are just like you. And I know that that may not be easy for leaders to do. I think it was probably challenging for me the first few times, because our bias is to pick people when we're interviewing that may be similar to us or that have similar thinking to us. And I would ask you to consider that next time you're interviewing, next time you're bringing people into your team. Are they people who are just like me? Or are they people who are going to make this team better? Are they people who are going to be able to have an opinion, to raise a thought? And for you as the leader, you have to be strong enough and visible enough in that conversation to let that be okay. You have to let opinions in, ideas in, thoughts into the conversation that are not your own. And you have to be willing at some point to make a decision, but getting that input is important. And if people don't feel like they're safe enough or comfortable enough to be able to share those thoughts and opinions, then they will shut down. They will disengage and they will not participate anymore. That's not obviously good for you or for the team. So being open to ideas, allowing other people to think differently helps you ultimately have a bigger perspective a new way of looking at something that maybe you hadn't considered before, and the recognition that you don't have to have all the answers. There's no need to be defensive. There's no need to be insecure. Actually celebrate it. Be happy. I was always happy that people knew way more than I did. I probably didn't feel that way initially. I'll admit that for sure. But later on, I felt so almost like such a big relief that I didn't have to have all the answers, that I had a great team of people who knew more than I did, who I just needed to help guide them and coach them and give them, ideas or conversations with other people to talk to keep them moving forward. That was really my role. My role wasn't to have all the answers, and it wouldn't have been a great project if I'd have done it by myself, that's for sure. So I wanted to share this with you because it's come up with a few clients this week, and I know it's challenging, but I just want you to experiment. Try it out. Don't be the first person to give an answer. Let other people in the room respond and let them give their ideas and share their ideas with you and see if it shifts your idea or your opinion in any way. It may not. It may be the same direction that you want to go, but at least you asked. You brought them into the project and they now feel like they're invested just as much as you are. And you'll have to say, at the end of the day, I have to make the decision. And I really appreciate your input. I may have to go in a different direction, and I hope you'll support me there. I hope you'll get on board because we all can't head in the same direction if we're divided. And so that's some of the things that a leader has to do too. And that's when you have to have a lot of courage and be willing to do that and stand up for what you want to do and what you think is best for the company. And that may not be including someone's opinion, and they may not be happy about that. But I think if you can state up front that I'm trying to include a diversity of thought in this project, I'm trying to make sure that we are doing the very best for the company. I hope you'll be able to support me whatever direction we go in, but I need your ideas first. In my opinion, it's probably been the best way for me to get the most information and ideas out of people. And if I stayed up front that they're not necessarily going to win, they may not have their idea that goes forward, it actually has been fine, right? Because you've got the respect of your organization and they know that you're going to do the best thing for the company. And that's all a team can ask for. It really is. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it gives you some ideas to think about the next time you are building a team, putting a project team together, trying to move forward on something that's challenging. Bring in other people who think differently than you do and see if it helps bring a bigger perspective, new ideas, and a much better project at the end of the day.